To go bad San Yu Tao Peking man is a famous scholar. Junji years, he went to participate in provincial examinations, living in the suburbs. One day, he happened to go out. He saw a man carrying a book box. Panic, seemed to be looking not find accommodation. Taosheng slightly asked a few questions. He put the box on the side of the road book and chat up students' Tao, famous conversation between persons' demeanor. Taosheng rejoicing and invited him to live with himself. Guests are pleased. He took the luggage came in, so they lived together. Guests introduced himself. I am Sunchon, surnamed Tu, word to evil. Because Taosheng older slightly longer, so be courtesy of his brother. Students do not like to tour, often sitting alone in the house, but did not put the book on the desk. Taosheng a few do not speak to him, and he himself lay silent. Taosheng his doubts about the move. I see his burden in boxes, in addition to inking stone, nothing more than the rest of the stuff. Taosheng surprised, and asked him, smiled and said to the students, we read, is it temporary thirsty before digging a well to do one day? He borrowed a book from Taosheng there, closing the door quickly copied it up. From early evening copied 5 more than 10 sheets of paper, but could not see him fold binding. Taosheng secretly went to see and saw him finish every copy one, put it to ashes gargling his wedding. Taosheng more surprised, and asked him how, in life, said, I use this method instead of reading so recite the copy of the book, while on the back quite a few, good word. Taosheng very happy, so he wanted to teach this spell, for students do not agree. Taosheng guess he is not willing to teach, to speak in showing a tally and reproach. In health said my brother really do not understand that if I do not say that the mind cannot show if all of a sudden say, afraid or frightened, thinking that I was a monster how to do it? Taosheng Jian who said it does not matter, so, in Chan said I am not a man, is now goes to Hades to give the officer the imperial examinations. July 14th ordered election officials to test the curtain, who participated in the 15th day of the exam to enter the examination room, the end results to be published. Tao Health asked what is the official test curtain replied, this expedition is cautious about the meaning of heaven, regardless of a high official minor official, had to be able to write articles in the examination as a curtain officer. Schwimmer's not unreasonable when the curtain officer, there are various underworld god, just as there is between Mayor Yang, the same magistrate now those people do exams officer, no longer read the books but they hunt for a teenager stepping stone to fame. The door opened, it was thrown to one side, if the account book documents more than a decade in charge, even if the original is BA, chest but also how much ink is left over it. The reason why this world by ignorant people to be lucky into leaders, while not excellence, this is because of the lack of official curtains Iankoa. Taosheng deep that, even more so in awe of him. One day, coming back to life from the outside, looked sad, he sighed and said, I was born poor from humble, thinking that death can get rid of, but, unlucky fate has been with me into the underworld. Tao Health asked how he's going to answer said when Chang Emperor was sent to all national champion Luogan. The curtain official exam cancelled so, those got in the afterlife wandering decades of travel and consumption of food is chaos and known demons to chair the imperial examination. Those of us who, how exams will hope Tao Health asked, who are these spirits, replied him just saying, you do not know me just cite 1 or 2, you probably know music is teacher Kwong, treasurer and Kiao. I cannot think of their own destiny to go by. The article cannot hang she better to forget it than boredom, so they intend to pack up to leave. Taosheng pulled him comfort, he stayed. To the Hungry Ghost Festival July 15th evening, said Tao Health on health I'm going into the exam, would you at the crack of dawn, holding a lit incense in the eastern suburbs, calling 3 times go bad I will come, having to go away. Taosheng prepared food and wine waiting for him. Just before dawn, he respectfully asked students to pressing to do. Soon, students will be in a juvenile and came together. Taosheng asked his name, said to students, "This is a prescription Jin, my good friend, just met in the examination room where he heard his brother's name. To want to come visit you." Trio returned home together. Point to the incense ceremony mate. Teenage slim, lovely courteous deportment, pottery students liked him. Asked, "Sunchon masterpiece. It must be big fast people." It is intended to students. He said ridiculous to say 7 questions in the examination room. He has done more than half, but carefully read the names of the examiners. They immediately pick up the pen and ink. Exit exam is really a strange man. Tao health violently with fire, brought the wine, then asked the examination room out what subject it to high school evil to students replied calligraphy. By on each one of these is every own strategy is to ask since ancient times already and more treacherous gas and corrupt social values to this day, even treacherous ugly little more excuse to yell. Not only hell can cover these names, but not a hell can accommodate a lot in. Is there any way to resolve this issue? Some people say that you can add a tuaho, but this is too contrary to carefully heart of heaven, so it should be increased or should not be increased, or there are other ways to get to the root. All of you who say, "Do not have reservations," brother asked, although this policy is not well written, says the enjoyment of the subject table is an exterminate demons off, thanks to the ministers by the credit monting. After than there's poems Yao Te West Pond Peach Fu. These 3, I think the field is second to none. Then, happy I was allowed to applaud. Prescription Jin said with a smile. At this happy as you lead Maria. After a few hours, not truly a man burst into tears. At dawn, Fangsheng was preparing to leave to go back. Taosheng left him to live. He does not agree, but agreed to come back at night. 3 days later, Fangsheng not even come back. Taosheng allows students to look for him. 2 students said, "Do not look for Subjin is sincere and who is not without credit." When dusk, his life really came, he took out a booklet to the Tao of Health, said, 3 days missed appointments because I seriously do you copy past articles, please give you one judge. Tao of Health is pleased to hold read like a sentence generally seen after 1 or 2, put it in the book collection box. They talked late into the night. Fang gifted students to stay in bed and sleep. Since then, so often, it is life does not come without a night. Tao of Health is not to be unhappy. Fang Shen. One night, Fang Sheng panic came to the Tao of Health, said, Hades has results to be published. In the 5th brother get the job in life was lying in bed, hearing this, sit up in surprise, sad to tears. They tried to persuade students to just cry. However, the 3 you see me, I see you have nothing to say, very sad. Fang Sheng said I just heard the big round ring Zhong Huan how to come. I am afraid that these words are failing the people who made it up. If it is true, the outcome of this examination will be repeated. After listening to students' face he lit up. Taosheng asked how this is going. He replied Huan how yide 3 decades a tour of hell, 35 years a world tour yang, yin and yang, 2 circles of grievance, are waiting for the old man to solve. Inborn is up, pulling together his life away. 2 days later came back, Fang Sheng happy to say to Taosheng, you do not congratulate brother Huan how to 5 the night before to the underworld, tore up the list, the name of only on a third of the standings and review again the loser's examination paper to see the 5 brother very happy, had recommended 5 brothers to cross the sea to make a trip to the south, and soon there will be the horses. Taosheng overjoyed, preparing a banquet to celebrate. After a drink after a few times, asked students to Taosheng, your family do idle house. Tao of Health asked what do you ask? In Chan said Sunjin all alone, with no home, not have the heart to forget brother. Little brother would like the house to give him room to live, beating and you rely on each other. Tao of Health said happily, if so, am so honored even if no more than the rest of the house, and I have stayed in bed. What is the relationship? But I have parents, they have to report it. In Chan said I know your parents love kindness, brother can rely on some days away from the exam, if the subjin cannot wait to go home and how. Taosheng to leave his companion, waiting to go back finished together. The next day, just black down there traveling came to the door. Then go to students taking office. Students got to hold Taosheng hand and said, since we were the words have to tell you, but I am afraid that affect your heart upward mobility. Tao student asked, what is this nonsense? To students replied, you hit destined exhausted. I'll time the expedition only on a hint of hope. The next branch Huan how to the male world. The fair began to stretch, promising 3/10 of third expedition. You have hope exams. Taosheng heard. Do not want to take the exam in health said do not. This is fate, not even knowing that, while destined to hardships, are also to be experienced. Turn back. The other students said do not stay up. Today's year, month, day, the hour is good, and immediately send you meet with my horses go back. I rode myself go to office. Fang Sheng happily with them farewell. Taosheng mind confused. I do not know what to say, just tearful send them away. Seeing traveling each ran their own way, and shortly all gone. At this time, he regretted Sunchon to go home, did not take along a letter to the parents go home, but this time it was too late. 3 tests before, not satisfied, Tao gifted hurried home, into the house to inquire about the Sunchon. The family did not know this person. Tao was born to his father talk about it, a happy father, and asked if this is the case, then the visitor has come to a long time friends. It turned out that the father of pottery during the day lying in bed and dream of traveling canopy parked in front of her house, a handsome boy out of the car, into the main room to meet pottery parent. Tao father asked him if he was surprised to come, replied brother agreed to lend me a house, because he does not want to test me and I tried to get one back here. Then, on the request went meet the mother. Tao as the father of humility declined. This time, at home, the old maid came in and said lady gave birth to a son. Tao father suddenly wake up, I feel very strange. Tao health said today, exactly in line with the dream, realized that this child is a child care Jin born. Father and son are very happy to give the child's name called the little Jin. When the boy just gave birth, love at night crying, Tao mother do this very troubled. Tao Chan said if it is really Sunchon, I look at him, crying in relation to stop. Local customs taboo just a child born to see strangers, fear frightened, so let Taosheng see. Mother cannot stand the crying child, he had called the Tao born into it. Taosheng soothed he said Sunchon do not do this I come. The child cried positive badly, hear the sound of pottery born, immediately stopped crying, stared at the Tao health. It seems to be carefully looked at. Taosheng stroked the child's head and went out. Since then, the child turned out to be no more crying. A few months later, Tao health has been afraid to see him, and saw the child he would stoop to hold, left, crying more than he. Tao health is also very fond of him. The age of 4, Smallton left his mother, and Taosheng sleep together. Taosheng go out, he pretended to sleep, waiting for him to come back. Taosheng taught him to read Mao on the pillow mat. He can babbling read up one night can read more than 40 lines. Tao Jin born son to teach him to stay with the article. He loved to read, you can read it memorized. Take another test article, will not back down. 8 or 9, it is already looks delicate features, is simply another Sunchon. Tao students participated in 2 provincial examinations failed exams. Ding years, exam cheating affair came to light out, killed or exiled many of the examiner. The imperial way to eliminate this is Huan Hao Yai credit. Taosheng examinations during the next exams and vice list, and soon became a tribute students. Then Taosheng imperial ambition has been to gradually lose interest. He lived in tutoring younger brother reading. He had said, I have such fun, it is to give me a handling office, I do not change. Different she said every time I went to the temple Master Zhong, see his man, stern and angry, his life shook like thunder, gun horse wherever he went, all the satisfaction of everyone, unexpected, because the world is good, General Wu, so he put Jiang Hao Bouzhou and Han Dynasty, Guan Ying in the same column, should know that when Chang Emperor busy, Zhong Hao need win already more than a, 35 years once, too late.